Gonna take a rocket ship to space. Hello, hello. Why am I holding a space shuttle tile and dressed in a space shuttle flight suit? Stay tuned to find out. Hey friends, Matt from Brooks Bricks here. We're gonna take a look at a incredible set today. I'm sure that some folks have seen reviews on this already. And I will know I don't normally buy sets like this that are collector display items, but this was just too good to pass up, and once I show you, you'll see why. So you can tell from the tile that I'm holding here, we're taking a look at a space shuttle, but not just any space shuttle. We're going to look at set 10283, the Shuttle Discovery and Hubble Space Telescope set that recently came out in April of 2020 here. This is a feature depicting the STS-31 mission back in April of 1990. And there you go, there's a plaque right there. I'll show you the plaque in person though here. But this in particular is the Shuttle Discovery. And just a fantastic build overall. I'm going to go ahead and show you the Hubble Telescope first, and we'll look at the space shuttle itself. The instruction book here is pretty big. The last stage, we ended up at over 1,300 pages, or 300 pages here, as they show you some final pictures. Yep. So it was a good build. It was a long build, but I never got bored with it. So let me go ahead and start with the Hubble, and we'll go from there. Alrighty, so first we've got the Hubble Space Telescope. As you can see, it launched on April 24th, 1990 on this particular mission with Shuttle Discovery. And this little plaque here, this is a sticker, just to kind of delineate what this is. You can see here it's got some information about the launch date, how big it is, how fast it's going, and where it is in Earth orbit. So that's kind of a nice little thing for display purposes. So let me go ahead and show you the main model here. And yeah, this thing is really cool. So first you can see this, in my opinion, is a really, really nice spot-on depiction of the actual telescope itself. You've got a couple of very large solar arrays here. These are vinyl sheet pieces that are cut out. But they're really nice. They got a great glare to them. And they're held on to these lance pieces here by these little flower plates, so it's kind of neat, interesting technique. And you can see they're held on with these little arms here, so these can kind of twist around a little bit depending on how you have things facing, so that's pretty neat. This is actually sitting on a stand, held on by a couple little things there, but it gives it a nice little angle. You build the stands for each of these parts separately first, and then you can attach the actual displays on top of them. Let me go ahead and show you the actual Hubble here removed from its stand. One second. Alright, just want to take this off the stand for a moment just to show you how big this is, even in my big figure hand here, how large it really truly is, and the underside what it looks like. So you get a couple of arrays that can kind of come out here like that. That's the two attachment points, both on the stand and when you can put it in the shuttle. From the back here, kind of like the service entrance, the doorway to get into it and do servicing and stuff like that. The construction of this in itself was really interesting. A lot of techniques and snot bricks done on the side kind of things to make this work, but it looks really cool. I'm very happy with this. Let me go ahead and put it back on the stand so I can open it up and just show you one last thing. Alright, back on the stand here, and of course the main feature of the telescope itself in real life is that it opens up and just peers into the universe. And of course, this is supposed to be a mirror of that, so lo and behold, there you go. There is the lens for peering into the void, into the darkness of space. Millions and millions of years worth of history. But yeah, this is a fantastic build. I really enjoy putting it together. It may not come all that well on camera, depending, because I'm just using obviously my phone camera here, but a lot of the pieces, the covering pieces on here are drum lacquered silver, so there is a good shine to these. And if I can get it in the right light here, you can see it kind of glaring off. But it does give it that extra little illumination, that little essence that makes it look really cool. A few great pieces like the jumpers here and those little things, so you can see there is a bit of a difference between that and all the drum lacquer pieces. It almost feels like they took a whole vat of things and literally just dumped all the pieces into the liquor stuff, whatever they do for the process to create this. But it does a really great job for this piece here. I think it's fantastic. So that is the Hubble Telescope, the first part of the set here. Again, mirroring the real thing launched in 1990, which as of the time of this video is still in service and being used. Let's go ahead and take a look at the main feature of the set though. Okay, so we're back here. We're going to take a look at the, obviously, main part of this build. This is the Space Shuttle Discovery, and this is meant to, again, mirror the particular mission STS-31. Now, the shuttle itself, as you can see, was active for a number of years here, up until 2011, and some other information that they put on here for you, too. Pretty cool. And here's a look at the basic part of the stand, so mostly a large sticker on a very large tile piece. So, let's go ahead and look at the shuttle. Now, I do have this phone on my tripod now, so hopefully I can do a little bit more review with this. We'll see how this goes. All right, let me go ahead and zoom out here and bring the shuttle into focus for you. This thing's up, I'm gonna have to zoom out even more. There we go. Here she is. This is the Shuttle Discovery in all its beauty. You can see, even with my huge hands and my huge arm, how big this thing truly is. Let me put a figure next to this just for kind of a point of scale comparison. There's me. So it kind of looks like it could be minifig scale, but it's actually not built to scale. When I show you the crew cabin, you'll see why. But let me go ahead and start with a couple of fun little features here. So first, here is the stand that this sits on. Literally just this. There's nothing to clip this in place. It just has a couple of indentations where those parts will just hold it in. But it's a very strong stand. You can see a lot of technique and other construction to kind of make it pretty rigid, because it needs it. It's pretty heavy. So let me go ahead and actually show you how this fits on here. There's a couple of little places here where this actually just settles right in. I'll get it lined up properly. There we go. And you heard that little click. And there it is. So, from the front here, I really like the shaping of this. Yeah, there's a few open studs on the sides here, but I don't think that takes away from the look at all. Honestly, it kind of gives it a little bit more character in my opinion. But you can see even like the thrusters on all the sides here are present. They have a really great detail to include that. Here is actually the crew cabin right here. There's the entrance point on the side for the shuttle. Let me go ahead and take this off and we'll have a look inside. Move that out of the way for a minute. So here is the crew compartment, the main command deck of the shuttle. You can see what I'm talking about. It's actually more of like a nanofig scale, but it's really cool. They've got room for 4 individuals in here. All kinds of computers and stuff, kind of true to the shuttle. Lots of computers inside the real shuttle if you were to look at that. Really, really nice printed windshield piece here. Probably exclusive to the shuttle, but we'll see if they continue using this elsewhere. And then inside, there's a second compartment here. Lower level for more stuff, lockers, more crew stuff, computers. And then this is the airlock to get into the payload bay. So let me go ahead and get this opened up and we'll take a look at that. Okay, so here is the fun part. One of the fun parts. Look at this beauty. And the Hubble Telescope model actually can fit in here. But a couple things to show off. They did include a Canadarm build. This is the robotic arm that can be maneuvered up and around to put payload into space. And they even include little cameras throughout the entire cargo bay here to kind of give you the impression of being able to watch and manipulate things here. This is another antenna that can be extended out for communications and whatnot. One of the coolest parts, and then in a way kind of the challenging part of this build, is all of these chrome stickers. It took some time to get these on here. It wasn't easy. You can see a few that I kind of did not get straight, but the effect that it gives, especially in the right light, really can make it feel like you're in space. I think it's really cool. They could have maybe covered it or something with chrome or something, but probably to raise the cost like a billionfold, who knows. But pretty neat. On the back portion here, there is a small flag. I don't know if you can tell on camera here the way I have this angled. Small flag print in there. These two little pieces are actually used to indicate the rolled up solar panels when you put the shuttle or the Hubble Telescope inside the bay here, because the other panels won't actually fit properly, so you can just store those there. Go ahead and close up the cargo bay. Something else that I really like about this structure itself is the technique used to create the angling of the wing structure here. This was, as I built in various stages of sub-assemblies, I didn't know where they were going with it, but once you put it together, you put it on the structure, the main fuselage structure, it was actually really neat to see how they did this. Lots of amazing techniques inside these builds to create the angling that they did. Especially right in here, this corner, to make this angle they did and to make it look right. Very, very happy with that. Stickered NASA piece right here. This is a printed US indicator here. That's a large 6x6 printed tile there. And then along the other side here, another printed sticker, another printed brick, and then NASA Discovery, that's also a printed tile, so that's pretty cool. Very much the same on this side of the shuttle, not really any differences. Yeah, just the size of this is great. These two top engine parts, where they've got additional thrusters and additional engine components, is really cool. There's actually a lot of built-in siding and snot techniques and stuff to create this. It actually took a little maneuvering and things to do what they did, and a lot of things you do in various stages to create the mount points for all the stuff that you see back here. The tail fin, along with a rudder portion that actually opens up like this to separate out to create the speed brake effect when it's gliding down and hits the runway. Very, very cool. The engine part in the back here, you've got the 3 large engine cones. This one actually does have a neat little effect. When you do this, you can actually rotate the elevons here, I believe they're called, the flaps in the back, to create some angling and stuff. It was an interesting technique to get this to work. I'm not sure if I got it 100% right, so I don't know if these are actually supposed to go in tandem or not, but it may be something I'll look at back at the instructions again later, we'll see. And then there is this little flap here that goes up and down too, but that's not all that it does. Let me take this off its stand and show you one last little fun play feature. Okay, so the shuttle was meant primarily for space, obviously, but this thing did glide down and touch down on the runway. And how did it do that without any gear, you ask? Well, they addressed that. The little flap in the back that I showed you, when you pull it, do this right here on camera. There we go. Looks like I got that one caught up there. There we go. It gets a little caught because it's still new. I haven't played around with it very much, but there you go. You've got wings that are gear that comes down and lets you actually land it on the runway. And actually, the way they designed it, the back is actually higher than the front, so it does come down and touch down like this, with the fact that it actually does in real life. So that's really cool. And it just rolls along. It doesn't have steering, it just kind of goes back and forth, but I think that alone makes it really neat. And then just to look again, here's the bottom with all the gear. Pretty neat. So that is the Space Shuttle build. I will note that I was never bored with this build at all, any of this process. I enjoyed every little bit of it as I worked on it. Never got sick of anything. It didn't feel repetitive, except this part felt a little repetitive because it was just annoying. But everything else was just really fun. I enjoyed it a ton. And mostly because I just wanted to get to the final build, because I was always excited to see the Space Shuttle. I thought it was a fantastic vehicle in real life, in spite of the challenges that we saw, the tragedies that happened with a couple of them, Columbia and Challenger. But it's an amazing feat of technology. Everybody that, you know, built the thing, designed it, did what they did with it. So I think LEGO hit out of the park with this. Good for them. Quick addition, I forgot to include at the time of the recording of the main video here. These are the extra parts that I actually had from the build. Not a bad assortment, some various stuff here. I do like that there's an extra panel there, computer panel, so that's pretty cool. I also wanted to show off the sticker sheets. So 2 main descriptive tiles and a couple small stickers of Discovery and NASA stickers there. And then here is the chrome stickers sheet that go on the inside of the payload bay there. I also did want to know too, this is something that I chose to do. You don't have to, but I did it because I have plenty of extra parts to do this. There's a lot of olive green inside the main structure of this build, and I actually had enough parts to substitute out other colors from Pick a Brick and things that I've done. And here's the result of all the olive green that I took out of this build. I didn't count this, but a lot of good pieces here. A lot of 1x2 plates, 2x4 plates, some 1x6. A lot of good stuff here that I don't really have much of any of before this. So I would say if you've got some spare parts, you'll see as you build the assembly of this that you can substitute things out to get and reclaim a lot of this good stuff. So I highly suggest that you consider that when you build this. So back to the main video. But I think that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed my look at the Space Shuttle Discovery and Hubble Telescope set here. As always, I want to thank folks for joining me for this review. In particular, my subscribers, I really appreciate it. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't, really appreciate that. Give me your thoughts below. Hit the share button, really appreciate all that stuff. And until next time, thanks for joining me, and I will see you later. Adios.